The bushfires, when they happened, really affected the town. We didn't have just one fire go through. The fire was here for probably a good month and we had multiple threats. So the town was really anxious.
When we looked out, all you could see was embers, an orange sky, and then the closeness of where it was. And then it was coming at us from that angle, and that angle. And we had hoses, that was all we had. We had power outages, we were in the dark for quite a long period, yeah.
FRRR partnered with many donors to deliver funding to communities that were affected by the bushfires. We ran a lot of different funding programs focusing on different areas of recovery and was really focused on what the communities needed as they needed it. So we aimed to provide flexible funding that was agile and that was ready for them as they were ready to take on different parts of the recovery within their communities. And then as we get into the longer term, it is really about preparedness and planning ahead.
Well, I guess immediately after a disaster, people need the fundamental things: water, food, power. But eventually that fog starts to lift a bit, then you can do other things. And the grant that we received from FRRR to fund a support recovery officer type role, it's been a massive enabler to get people together, get them to talk to each other, and healing begins there.
So the FRRR grant, we were very blown away actually that we received this. With the solar panels installed to start with, then with the generators, the extra hoses, I know that it's created an extra safe haven here for us here at preschool, and peace of mind. Not to mention the sustainability and what it's doing for the environment too.
We all need to be better prepared, no matter how well prepared we think we are for emergencies, and preparedness for people with disabilities needed to be highlighted. So the disability advocate in this instance, funded by the FRRR grant, was able to link people into the fire relief and recovery supports much more easily because their needs are different and each individual is different.
So back in the bushfires, there was no power for weeks. And what that meant was that all the families that are living there went through extreme hardship. And we thought, well, what can we do to actually enable there to be power much more quickly? We applied for a bushfire recovery grant for a mobile generator. Now, this mobile generator has been used extensively, and everyone knows if there's an emergency, it's absolutely provided free of charge.
The Narooma Mountain Bike Club was formed back in 2019, and our vision at that time was to provide tourism for Narooma and also an outdoor area for the community to exercise. So that meant going for grants, and for us to actually go for any of the bigger grants, we needed an audit report from a trail building company. And so the FRRR grant was absolutely integral to us getting all of the grants that we needed, especially the large $4.3 million grant. And without that $25,000 grant, we would have not been here now.
I'm very big on the value of the arts post-fires. It's the thing that brings us all together, there's no doubt about it. And I've witnessed all of the lantern making workshops. And again, there's about 5,000 or 6,000 people who cross the bridge with their lanterns as the signature experience. And you just can't buy that kind of love in a community.
After the initial fires that were really significant, people were removed, the events and the consequences after still resound today. I think there are lessons learned about how we look after country and how we encourage others to do it. And we use some of the funding to run camps on country as part of that restoration and helping people come back on country to celebrate its revival and also to reconnect. And if we can work collectively together to have outcomes that strengthen and support community healing and recovery, we will have and grow a much more stronger community and safer one, and that's what we want to do at the end of the day.
By funding communities post-disaster, we can empower them to create a stronger, more resilient, remote, rural and regional Australia.